Well, shalom, shalom. I just want to welcome everyone today. And today our topic is, can the wrong day of worship be the mark of the beast? Is that a possibility? And Sabbath is a sign.
Moreover also, I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am Yahweh, that sanctifies them. That's Ezekiel 20, verse 12.
Oh, and from the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, a sign is H226.
Oath, or oath, probably from H225, in the sense of appearing. A sign, literally or figuratively, as a flag, a beacon, a monument, omen, prodigy, evidence, etc., mark, miracle, sign or token.
Okay, so it's a mark or a sign.
Of course, the Catholic Church claims that the change was her act, that is, changing worship from the Lord's Day, Sabbath, to Sunday. And the act is a mark of her ecclesiastical power and authority in religious matters. That is from Faith of Our Fathers, letter, October 28, 1895, from C.F. Thomas, Chancellor of the Cardinal Gibbons.
So what's this? Rome has admitted that this unbiblical change is a mark of her authority?
Her priests have violated my laws and have profaned my holy things, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbath, and I am profaned among them. Ezekiel 22, verse 26.
So worshiping on the proper day is very important because it affirms who we really worship. So which do you follow? The mark of the Father's authority, the Sabbath day, or the mark of the beast? And if you should do a search on the keywords my and Sabbath in a King James Bible search engine, like eSword or Bible Hub or something, there are 17 places where the Father specifically refers to his day of worship as my Sabbath.
It is safe to worship. Is it safe to worship on a Sabbath that is therefore based on a completely different calendar system, especially an entirely unbiblical calendar system that was designed and put into place by the very beast that the Bible warns us of in the book of Revelation? Don't forget, friends, the calendar that the world now uses is called the Gregorian calendar, which was named after its 1582 legislator, Pope Gregory.
So whose authority then do you obey? Which holy day instructions do you bow down to? Jehovah's or the Pope? And whose servant are you?
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants you are to whom you obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness? That's Romans 6, verse 16.
So it's now known that the Council of Nicaea had outlawed Jehovah's Sabbath calendar during Constantine's reign. And this helped Rome begin their long history of keeping the world in the biblical darkness, hence the term Dark Ages.
Can a fake Sabbath really be the exclusive authority or mark of the beast? You bet it can. Remember, the Father's Sabbath was to be so revered that he made it one of the 10 Commandments. Having now understood this, serious heaven seekers are wisely returning to Yahweh's biblical calendar. Doing so is not unlike how the brave 16th century reformers had returned to the biblical truths like salvation by faith.
So for more information about Jehovah's True calendar system and how it's been kept from us, there is a book on our website, Remember the Sabbath Day to Keep It Holy, and that's by Dwayne Moore. His website is bcmin.us. But a lot of the material from this YouTube was taken from that book, and I'll leave links below also. And this book can be downloaded at our website, lunarsabbathday.com.
Can the Sabbath day really be considered as a possible mark of the beast issue? How about the buying and selling part? And who, including the beast, would ever make a law with such severe punishment as the Bible clearly warns is coming, regarding something so minor as a mere day of worship?
So the Dark Ages was between the 5th and the 10th century. That's a long 500 years.
Well, here's one interesting example of how we might see a shadow of things to come. As the Bible so cleverly puts it, regarding one rarely mentioned Dark Age fact, in the Synod of Thoulouse, AD 1163, Roman Catholic decree against biblical Sabbath keepers, quote, "The bishops and priests take care and to forbid under the pain of excommunication every person from pursuing to give reception or at least assistance to the followers of this heresy, which first began in the country of Toulouse, whenever they shall be discovered, neither where they have any dealings with them or in buying and selling, that being so deprived of the common assistance of life, they might be compelled to repent of the evil of their way. Whosoever shall dare to contravene this order, let them be excommunicated as a partner with them in guilt. As many of them as can be found, let them be imprisoned by the Catholic princes and punished with the forfeiture of all their substance." That's King Ladelphios of Argon banishing all Waldensians in 1194 as a consequence, and they were soon thereafter persecuted to essential extinction.
So people were commanded not to have any dealings with them, no buying or selling, and then they were eventually pretty much extinct and expelled.
For many people, their initial reaction is that the mark of the beast can only be a physical mark of some kind. Wouldn't that be just how most people might see it? But would they see it in the same light as they might also see the passage, "If thy eye offend thee, pluck it out"? That's Matthew 18:29. If people were just that fanatically righteous back then one might also assume that there must have been a lot of one-eyed Christians running around years ago. It is possible that there might be a higher-reaching implication for such a verse about the mark of the beast.
So this might be about worship the Creator.
Perhaps then, it's more realistic that we're looking at a metaphoric verse. Therefore, the true symbolism in the mark on the forehead or on the hand can then more plausibly be taken as, "Worship me in thought and deed," keeping in mind faith without works is dead, of course. That's James 2:14-26.
Okay, so this would then also adequately fit the bill of such a mark in a Creator who himself is spiritual.
With the mark representing our commitment, choric, and thereby meaning who we then worship in our hearts. the fruits of which are then outwardly professed by public demonstration of which Sabbath commandment, day of rest, we do obey, which either follows Yahweh's everlasting fourth commandment and his biblical calendar, or the Pope's 1582 Gregorian commandment.
Yeah, and that was my fault. That word was cut off. That's choice. So representing our choice, which Sabbath commandment, day of rest, do we obey? Jehovah's, or the one commanded by the Gregorian or Pope Gregory commandment. So we have to decide, who will you serve?
It's a matter of deciding in our hearts who we're going to serve. Where working and resting according to the beast may mark us for destruction under the Father's system, and vice versa. See also Revelation 7:3 and 22, verse 11. Do not harm the land of the sea or the trees until I put the seal on the foreheads of the servants of our Elohim. Revelation 7:3. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he who is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Revelation 2:11.
So it's all about worship. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
That's Revelation 22:11. Excuse me.
Okay, sure, that's fine. So it's all about worship, the cosmic conflict.
In the cosmic conflict begun in heaven between the government of love and the government of force, Satan is the ultimate terrorist. He knew he was opposing the unbeatable power of the Creator, Yahweh. He knew he would eventually die, but he wanted to take as many people with him as possible. In his arrogance, he bragged about his plan before the entire universe. This boast is recorded in the Bible so everyone could know how he planned to defeat the Creator. Calendar Fraud, 4 Angels Publications. Isaiah 14:12 through 14. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into the heavens, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
So that's Satan's declaration of war against the divine government. And it's establishing the rules of engagement for the entire conflict. And it is a fight waged on the battleground of worship.
The word congregation is moed. It means congregation, festival, gathering, appointment. Since the Jewish festivals occurred at regular intervals, this word becomes closely identified with them. Yahweh met Israel there at specific times for the purpose of revealing his will. It is a common term for the worship assembly of Yahweh's people. Hebrew-Greek keywords, study Bible, lexiconal aids to the Old Testament.
Okay, so the war is on the battleground of worship. That's where it's being held. And here's the battle plan.
Satan boasted that he would be like Most High. He wanted to be like Yahweh. In other words, he wanted to be worshipped as Yahweh. Only the source of life, the Creator, Elohim, has the right to establish when worship will occur. Lucifer's battle plan was to take possession of the Mount of the Moedim, receive worship, and thus be like the Most High.
So Sabbath, we know, is the only worship day.
When the Creator appointed the lights in the heavens for seasons, the seventh-day Sabbath was the only worship day in creation week. The annual festivals were instituted after sin in order to reveal the sin-darkened minds of the plan of redemption. The worshiping assemblies that were to be established by the moon include the weekly 7-day Sabbath as well as the annual feast. This is affirmed in Psalm 104, verse 19.
So Psalms 104:19, he made the moon to mark the seasons, and the sun knows its time of setting. And the moon is for seasons, which is Moedim.
Lucifer has indeed set his throne on the Mount of the Moedim. He has deceived the entire world into worshiping him.
So again, Isaiah 14:13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of Jehovah, I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. That is Satan talking. And the method used in this war, in this battleground, is revealed in Daniel 7:25.
Daniel 7:25, quote, he shall speak pompous words against the Most High, shall persecute the saints of the Most High, and shall intend to change times and law. Then the saints will be given into his hand for a time and times and a half time. The fourth beast.
So he shall think to change times and laws. So today we're talking about times and laws. And when you worship, reveals whom you are worshiping.
The original calendar of the Creator is the most elegant and precise method of time measurement. It is not the only method, though. Satan has introduced an almost infinite variety of counterfeits which have coalesced into the Gregorian calendar in use today.
And up here is a picture of when the Father's calendar starts out with new moon, and then about 7 days later we have the first quarter announcing the first Sabbath. Then full moon announces the second Sabbath, the last half, the third Sabbath. So the calendar is in the heavens. It's not on a wall. It's not on paper. It's not written by a pope or any man.
Satan and his demons know that if too many people get back to the correct Sabbath worship, that he doesn't stand a chance in destroying us with his evil, as any restored, proper worship will surely bring the Father's mercies to the more repentant of people with great promise and hope.
So what we need is Sabbath restoration, and restoring worship is in Isaiah 58:12-14.
Quote, your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will rise up the age-old foundations. You will be called repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwellings. And if you will keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and from doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight and Yahweh Holy's day honorable, and if you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please or speaking idle words, then you will find your joy in Yahweh, and I will cause you to ride in triumph on the heights of the land and to feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken.
So when is the Creator's true Sabbath? And how can you find the true Sabbath? If this is all new to you, I invite you to go to the website or on YouTube and see what is the lunar Sabbath, and I'll leave these links below. It explains it in just a little 10-minute YouTube, but there's much more information there on the website. And here is the website, lunarsabbathday.com. And I invite you to go there. It is a great source of information about the creation calendar. There's lots of articles and videos much information. It's all about calendar, and also on the events page you can scroll down and see when we meet for Sabbaths and new moons, and we would love to have you come fellowship with us. So I just want to thank Brother Peter for helping me read, and I invite you all to come back next week. And for those of you that are here, please stay around for discussion.